Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of this video series. This video series is on setting up end-to-end environment for Selenium automation using various tools like TestNG, Maven, Jenkins, GitHub, GitHub Desktop, Eclipse, how to set pom.xml for Maven and all those things. Up till now, what we have seen is that in previous videos, we have seen how to install and configure Eclipse. Then we configure Selenium on Eclipse. Then we created a Maven project, set up dependencies and various plugins on pom.xml of Maven, ran that particular project as a Maven test. After that, we installed TestNG, set up TestNG.xml and ran that project as TestNG test. Various tests we ran using TestNG, and finally we did all this on Eclipse, and finally we integrated our project with Jenkins and ran our project as a Jenkins job and analyzed various result. And in last edition of this video series, we have seen how to create a GitHub account. We installed Git and GitHub Desktop, and we put all our project code onto GitHub, and that is how all these steps are complete. Today we are going to see the integration of Slack, which is kind of office communicator, integration of Slack with our project. So with Jenkins, you can say. So what I mean is that this is my Jenkins and this is my Jenkins job, which will run various test cases which are there in Eclipse. This is our Selenium project. So using this Jenkins job, we are running these test cases. When I run these test cases, it will create beautiful test result, and we can analyze these test result. But what I want is, when I run this particular project, it will give me result in the Slack. This is my Slack, and this is a channel, QA automation status channel. Something like this I'm expecting. When I run my Jenkins job, it should give me feedback or give me result of my test result like this: how many test cases are passed, how many test cases are failed, and what exactly we need to do, that we'll check. So first of all, from Jenkins we need to install Slack plugin, which is in manage plugin. I already installed, so that will be appear in installed section. Let me show you. This is the Slack notification plugin which we need to install. I installed that. Once that is installed, it will show up in configure systems section, and we need to configure Slack parameters like credential and all. So what we need to configure is, we need to provide Slack workspace, which is this. My Slack workspace is this one. Then we need to provide various credential. I have provided my credential to access Slack. So you need to provide credential, you need to provide a secret which is generated by Slack app, and then you need to provide the name of channel, which is QA automation status, and this is that channel, QA automation status. So that is how Jenkins know which channel to use, what credential need to use, and what is the workspace. And that is how the integration of Jenkins Slack takes place. That's how Jenkins know to which Slack channel, to which Slack I need to send message. Now coming back to our job, automation job. This is my automation job, which will run all the test cases which I have created, Selenium test cases. We need to configure this job to send its result onto Slack. So in post install step, you need to select Slack notification. So whenever my job is pass, fail or unstable, send me the message onto Slack. That's what I'm providing in these sections, and I have saved this. So let's try to run this particular job. It will run our job and finally send notification onto Slack. So I'm running. It will run all my automation test cases, and ultimately it will send status on this Slack. So my test cases are running. They are still running. Let me check the console output. Yeah, deliberately I have failed some test cases. There are 11 test cases, 4 are failure and 0 failed. And you can see the final console message. It says the Slack notification is sent, and let's check. So this is my Slack notification which came just now, 3:32. Just now it came, and it says 7 pass, 4 failed. So that is how the integration of Jenkins and Slack takes place. So we use this in our organization extensively. We can schedule this Jenkins job. We schedule this Jenkins job at 9 o'clock morning. So before we reach to office, this job will run, and ultimately we get message on Slack that how many test cases are pass and fail, and particular owner of this particular failed test cases take care of the test cases. So that's how Jenkins and Slack integration works. So I hope you enjoy this integration. So this integration is fine. We have provided all our credential and workspace and channel related information on Jenkins. So Jenkins know where to send a message, but how Slack allows messages from external source like Jenkins job. We need to set up few things on a Slack. Like from Slack app, we need to set up incoming web hooks. So what are the incoming message from external source can be known, and we need to give permission to that particular message or external source so that Slack allows those message to appear on its channel. So these two features we need to enable from the Slack app, and we need to provide permission from auth and permission. So there are various keys and all generated which we need to use while providing permission into Jenkins. I can't show you that's there. And after that we need to provide few scopes, and that means a permission. Chat write is the one scope which allows to write incoming messages onto Slack channel, and another scope is incoming webhook. So these two set of scopes, that means these two set of APIs are used by Slack to appear external messages on to various channel. User token and these things you need to set on Slack so that it works. I'm trying to run it again so that you get to know how it works. Everything is set up. I started build. Jenkins started build. Once build complete, it will send message onto the Slack. Maven project 24 number build. From Slack we can open this particular Jenkins and see the test result, which test cases are failed, which are passed. So that's how overall Jenkins and Slack integration works.